Hi guys, and a great big warm welcome to episode 55 of the Ask Zofie podcast. I am still out of the cupboard for those of you who are just listening. Last week, I brought my microphone out of the cupboard. That's no mean feat. Plugged it all in to use it to make the sound quality better, and then realized later that it'd come unplugged and it wasn't even working. So hopefully this week my microphone is actually working. I was just checking I was recording then actually, because I suddenly thought I wasn't sure. I'd pressed record. This is starting well, isn't it? Okay, so actually also I have a microphone stand that I use in the cupboard, and I bought a new one to use out of the cupboard, but it doesn't fit on my table, so I've had to bring the one out of the cupboard to use that's supposed to be in the cupboard. It's not that great. I did try resting it on my knee. So at the moment it's resting on the table. It's not ideal, but it will serve a purpose. So hopefully, so I'm kind of sitting quite close to the microphone in a bit of an awkward position. But it's slightly better than being in the cupboard, because normally I get a dead leg from being in the cupboard. But anyway, hopefully it's going to work out. Okay. Anyway, I'm doing it. So I will get to some points eventually, and stay with me because I've been promising this for ages and I'm really excited. If I didn't know better, I'd say nervous, but I do know better. So I'm going to say excited to share on today's topic, which is the topic of how I manifested romantic love into my life. And like I always say, these tips, the things I'm sharing, will help you manifest what I've manifested, or they will, I mean, not exactly the same, but, you know, romantic love. You can also use them to manifest anything. So if you've already got romantic love in your life, then you don't have to stop listening. I mean, you can, but you are watching. But just to say, they will help you anyway. Full disclosure, as always with me, I wasn't going to share one of my sort of behind the scenes today because I've got so many things I want to get to, and I'm an eager beaver. That sounds funny. Anyway, we won't dwell on that. But of a feeling that, one, this might be reminiscent of episode whatever it was when I took some Panadol with caffeine and talked really, really fast. And I've also done other episodes where I've talked really fast because I'm really excited. But also, this is episode 55. And this morning, I don't think I took a photograph. I might have done, I can't remember. But I noticed in the car there were a lot of fives. There were like 55 on like the mileometer. The other, I don't even know what half the things are on my car, but there were a bunch of 55s. And so I was like, oh, I might Google that later, because that's how I approach signs. I will talk more about this in due course. But anyway, this is episode 55. So really briefly, actually, on that, in terms of signs, I don't advocate asking the universe for a sign. Please give me a sign. Oh, here comes cat number one. Susie's just joined. Those of you watching on YouTube can see a little happy face. Those of you who are listening won't be able to see, but she's here with me. I thought she might join me. So I don't ask the universe for signs. What I do is, when I notice something come up like angel numbers a few times, or something that seems to resonate that could be a sign, I will just maybe Google it and see if what comes up feels good and resonates. I will take that as a wink from the universe. I'm really light about it, really light about all this stuff. I have done plenty of, sorry, Susie's getting close to the microphone. If she meows, you'll know it because she's got a really strange meow. So I've spent plenty of time caught up in the sort of the heaviness of the mind. I'm over that. Actually, another aside, I heard the term mind melt. Somebody was talking about it on Instagram the other day. Never heard this before. Absolutely love it. And what I realized was, apart from having lots of mind melts with Daniel, who is my beloved, who is sort of kind of who this podcast episode in some ways is about, this is what I do with what I think of as God, but you can think of as divine, whatever, source energy, the universe, your higher self, your soul, whatever. Every morning is I have that mind melt, and over a period of years, that's what I've been doing, is melting and melting and melting more into the mind of the divine. Part of the That's the point of studying A Course in Miracles, all of the crazy stuff I've done. Anyway, I'm getting way off piece before I get going. I will get going in a minute. But before I do, Susie, would you like to help me just pick a page from Love Notes from God? This is like so awkward. I have the cat here. I'm trying to open the book. I'm trying to keep close to the microphone. Keeping it real. Are you going now? Susie's going to knock the mic. Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? She wants to sit on my lap, I think. Okay, I'm going to pick us a quote from Love Notes. Let's see what comes up. Right. Susie, can you help me? No, you just want to lick my arm. Okay. Here goes. The peace of my love is your ultimate home. It offers the ultimate protection. The peace of my love is your ultimate home. It offers the ultimate protection. Hopefully that has hit home with some of you. That feels good. Okay. Without further ado, I'm going to get into the topic. So this episode I'm going to call something along the lines of how I manifested love, maybe / the butter chicken method, because I've talked about this butter chicken thing before, and I'm going to talk about it today, and lots of you then talk about it back to me, so it's become infamous, this idea of of the joy that I was experiencing with butter chicken. If you don't know what I'm talking about, keep listening, watching, because it hopefully will become clear soon. Okay, so I'm sharing these tips in no particular order. And this isn't sort of like a complete roadmap. It's not everything. I will speak more to this. I will come back to this. And this podcast isn't particularly lengthy at the moment for a bunch of reasons, but these are like the main things. And like I say, whether you want to manifest love or romantic love or friendships, anything, these ideas will help you. Right, Susie's had enough now. She's bored. Don't blame you, Susie. Okay, so I've said in no particular order, but this is perhaps the most prominent piece here, the most powerful part of the process for me relative to manifesting love, and like I say, relative to you manifesting anything. I had a realization, I think it was probably like November, December last year, that I'd never felt loved in the way that I desired. I'd never had that experience. And on the one hand, it's like, boohoo, cry me a river, how sad is that? Yeah, I mean, I'm jesting about it, but it is sad. But more importantly, and where I wanted to focus, the only helpful place and way to focus was on the fact that, okay, I understand how manifestation works. Okay, big time. You guys know me, I'm obsessed with this topic and helping you guys with it. So I understand that if any of us, if you want to manifest anything into your life, you need to be an energetic, a vibrational, a feeling match to it. How can you do that if you don't know what something feels like? So I think I've got like Susie's hair stuck in my lip gloss, which doesn't feel good. Anyway, the feeling of love, unlike Susie's hair in my lip gloss, does feel good. Okay, so I was like, right, I have to figure out what's the essence of this thing that I want to manifest into physical reality. Whoa, no wonder I haven't been manifesting it. I've been manifesting the kind of love that I had experienced, which I say kind of love. Oh, by the way, I asked on Instagram if I should try and stop doing air quotations or keep going with it, and you voted for keep going, so I'm just rolling with it. No apologies. Okay, so no wonder I had manifested the kind of love that I'd manifested, because I didn't know what true, unconditional, what real love felt like. So here's the thing, in respect of anything you want to manifest, whether it's like me, romantic love or something else, is figure out the essence, the feeling, the core of that thing you want to manifest. So if it's more money, what is the essence of money, of financial freedom for you? Is it freedom? Is it fun? Is it joy? For me, the feeling of love was just this ease and this acceptance and this allowing, and really, 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 really secure. And at the moment, most of you guys know I'm focused on manifesting abundance. For me, the essence of that is extreme, like deep, like full on just relaxation. So figure out the essence, because when you cut all the BS out, when you really get down to it, this manifestation stuff isn't complex. The mind wants to make it complicated and complex in order to thwart you from succeeding at it. But in essence, it isn't. And the simpler and the lighter you can keep it and be about it, the more effective you will be. So this is the first thing, is to figure out for you what is the essence of the thing that you desire to attract in your life. And then the second part of that, what I did and what I'm suggesting you do, if you want to kind of follow along with me, is every day spend time feeling the feels of that. For me, what works personally, one of my favorite things to do is I put on certain music essentially that makes me feel good. And then I just lean into that feeling of deep relaxation or security or comfort, whatever it might be. Again, I say this all the time. This, in essence, is incredibly simple. And so is the process. We don't need to complicate this. Law of correspondence, which is an immutable spiritual law, states kind of as within, so without. So if you want to change the external, if you want to manifest in the physical, you have to first change the internal. You have to shift in the non-physical. When I work with kids, I say life is like a big mirror reflecting back to you externally how you feel on the inside. And we can get all bogged down in the intricacies and the details. Don't need to do that. Let's just keep it simple. Okay, I'm thinking of the meerkats now. Didn't they say simples? Anyway, again, I digress. So this is the first piece, is figure out the essence of what you desire and resolve to spend 5 or 10 or whatever minutes there every day. For me, I do it first thing in the morning, feeling the feels of that. And understand that this works. This is powerful. Spiritual laws are immutable. That just means unchangeable. They work every single time for every person. You are no exception. Your mind's going to say, oh, what about me? Or I've tried it before. You are not the exception, because there are no exceptions. And so you cannot be. Okay, one of the other things that I did was massively helpful, massively powerful. No matter the reason for you thinking, I don't have much time. And I think for me, one of the main ones that comes up with this is a girl who is wanting to get pregnant, who's in her 30s, could be even older than that, thinking, I'm running out of time. And if you look at this purely physically, purely factually, yes, you are. Okay. There's a great argument for that. However, whichever way you dress it up, that perspective, that point of view is simply unhelpful, and it is thwarting your success. So you have to ditch it, no matter how true or potentially true it is. For me, I didn't have that worry in respect of this. The thing that my mind was hanging on to was, you're 44, Zofie, you're in decline. And again, we can argue for this, we can argue against it. Irrelevant. That perspective, that point of view was harming me, was thwarting my manifestation, was thwarting my progress. So I reframed it. It's like, okay, I'm 44 now. I could meet someone. And I actually thought about Louise Hay, who met someone much later in life, I forget the age, and had a great old time with this guy for the last years of her life. It's like, I could meet someone at 60, at 70, whatever, and have 20, 30 amazing years with this person. And if I think about how many years I had with my ex-husband, which was 17, it's kind of a lifetime in some ways. So just, in other words, chill the freak out. Okay, you have to find some way somehow to take that pressure off, because your soul is never feeling the pressure, is never hurried, is never rushing. And when you are feeling the pressure, you are taking yourself out of alignment. And those of you who've done Manifesting Miracles with me or follow me on Instagram or listen to this will have heard me say a gazillion times, alignment trumps everything. And so anything that's taking you out of it, whatever the reason slash excuse, is too big a price to pay. Can I make excuses for my lisps? Because I've had like an Invisalign fitted on my upper teeth, and I'm going to blame it on that. When it's gone in 5 weeks, I'll have no excuses, but I'm just going to use that for now. Okay, so you want to do whatever you can to step away from the sense of pressure, of scarcity, anything that's tense is not alignment. Anything that's tense is not coming from your soul. Your soul is easy about things, is totally chill. The more you can lean into that, the better. Okay, I've just said this a moment ago. For those of you watching on YouTube, by the way, I'm checking my notes, which is why I keep looking to the side. I've said this before, but you might not believe I actually do have notes when I do these podcasts. Okay, alignment. Alignment trumps everything. I have my tattoo on my clavicle that you can see there if you're watching on YouTube, to remind me. That's the way that I roll. If I really love something, I don't just write it down or put it on my phone. I ink it on my body, because I'm one of those intense people. Any of you listening or watching who know that you're a projector in human design will know about what it's like to be an intense person. Anyway, again, I get sidetracked. So I mentioned this earlier. I mentioned this last week. I've mentioned it a bunch of places. The butter chicken thing. Okay. So when I wanted to manifest love, a boyfriend, a romantic partner, I did all the physical stuff. I worked on myself big time. I went on a lot of dates. Felt like still back then, a lot of dates. And I was on, Tinder, Match, whatever. Oh my gosh, Match. I should do a whole episode on that. That was, let's just say, interesting, my Lord. Anyway, I really put the time in and the effort in. I totally, in the physical sense, put my money where my mouth was. Anyway, I reached a point, whenever it was, say it was like September, October last year, I can't remember. It's like, I just had this gut feeling, my guy is not on any of these sites. I'm not going to find him this way. I just knew it. So it felt right to me, even though most likely pretty much every dating expert would say to you, you need to be visible, no matter how happy you are. And I've heard this said many times, and I can understand why they say it, but I don't agree with it entirely. No matter how nice a person you are, how great a potential partner you are, how much you work on yourself, you can't just be sat on the sofa and expect the guy to turn up. Or can you, I would say. So in terms of the advice you'd get purely on what to do in the physical world, the physical sense, I went against this. But my intuition said, guy's not on there. Time to do something else, Zofie. And so I came off all of the dating apps, and there was a night, it must have been kind of winter time, I was the first Saturday night that I'd had to myself with no kids here, when I wasn't going on a date of some sort or other. And I made myself the now infamous, most delicious, if you like food like I like food, my God, butter chicken. I sat in my tracksuit because I got involved with the whole tracksuit thing in COVID. It took me a while, but I got on board, and I'm so glad I did. In the corner of my corner sofa, my beloved corner sofa, with the wood burner on, and I think I've watched some like rom-com-y kind of thing, which is totally my bag on TV. And I was in my element. It felt so good. I felt so aligned. So a dating coach is going to be like, well, eating butter chicken on your fat behind in your tracksuit bottoms isn't going to bring a man to you. But oh yes, it did. It sounds like someone in a panto now, but oh yes, it did. The point is, I focused on feeling good over the advice, the tips, the tools. I say this all the time. Have this disclaimer. That might be sage advice. That might make sense. That might have worked for many, many people. But if it takes me, if it takes you out of alignment, it's not going to work for you at that point, at that juncture, at that time. So I was so in alignment at that point. This is key. Okay, this is key. And yeah, I did manifest the guy of my dreams whilst I was eating the butter chicken. And actually, some of you will know about Table Guy, who I basically got asked out on a date before I met Daniel by a guy who I sold a table to on Facebook, and he asked me out on a date. And so I didn't go anywhere. I wasn't trying to do anything. What was I doing? I was living my best life. I was acting as if I was knowing that it was going to come. And so, yeah, this isn't about just sitting on the sofa doing nothing. That's not the point. The point is alignment trumps everything. Okay. So one of the things I did do was, interestingly enough, so I'm focusing on my alignment, right? I'm focusing on feeling good. I'm focusing on taking the pressure off. I'm focusing on making the best of myself and my life in the interim. And one of the things I obviously had this intuitive nudge to do quite a bunch of times was to ask my friend Mel, set me up with a guy, set me up with a guy. Do you know any nice guys? Set me up with a guy. I didn't do this to anyone else, okay? This is an example of my intuition working because I was high vibing, I was in alignment. God, source energy, my soul, whatever, knows that she knows the guy, and that the path of least resistance to bring him to me is for me to give her these nudges. So that was one of the actions I took. This isn't something that, again, a dating coach would advise you on because they don't know what's going to work for you at any particular point in time. This isn't to knock that advice or any advice that people give that makes sense, but it is just to say, remember that what we're doing in the physical is analogous to the tip of the iceberg. The non-physical, the energetic stuff is the mass of the iceberg beneath the surface, or it's what I say all the time is the 99.9%, which is the non-physical part of this world, this universe that we live in. And other people can't see that for you, so they can't tell you. But when you're in alignment, your soul can. Other people can act as pawns and cooperative components, but they're not your soul. They're not there to guide you. Okay. Now, another thing that was key that I really remember, this is challenging. Oh my God. And I get it. I so get it because, oh, you guys, I have spent so much of my life feeling left out, feeling less than, feeling lost and lonely. What else can I think beginning with L to give some alliteration here? Like the one forsaken and forgotten, left behind, on crack, like big time. I wasn't on crack, but I'm just saying on crack, on steroids, big time. I get that feeling. I understand that feeling. But I know it's challenging when you really, really want a baby and everyone's having freaking babies and they don't even want them, or you really want to find the man or woman of your dreams and everyone else is together. I know what that's like. I have compassion for you and have compassion for yourself, but you've got to understand that it's not helpful to be in that space. Okay. So this is what I was able to do. I remember distinctly, there were two people that I follow on Instagram. Both their names have gone out my head now. One of them is a social media teacher and the other one is a pop star actually. And both of them posted it in sort of quite close proximity to one another about their partners and how great they were and how they'd found this love and blah, blah, blah. And I posted, Jasmine Star was the first one. And I commented something like, this is amazing for you. I'm working on this right now for myself. And she replied, it's coming for you. Not like that sounds like a threat, but like your next sort of thing. And I felt it. Okay, so one, I'd managed to stay happy for her and stay in that energy. And two, then she sort of reciprocated that back by being a cooperative component of the universe and saying, Zofie, you're next. Same thing happened with this other girl. She also replied to my comment. So there's 2 points here. One is, remember that, and I'm going to talk about this in a moment, or am I? No, I'm not. I'm going to talk about it now. So driftwood, I talk about this all the time. I think I talked about it last week, is that when you see someone else with the thing that you want, know that this is the universe winking to you and giving you a nudge that you are next. Please don't feel disappointed or despondent at those points, because it is contrary to what the universe wants you to know. So I managed to stay in that place, in that space, and then was able to not be taken down and see that it was a sign for me that it was coming, and reach out to them and be happy for them. And then it came back to me. Okay. So before your stuff is about to manifest, I knew that Daniel was going to be in my life soon because I could feel the shift in my energy. And there were loads of signs like the things that I've just mentioned to you. This will happen if you're alert to it and awake to it. So look out for those things. The mind goes, well, I don't want a freaking white feather or an angel number or someone else with my stuff. What am I going to do with that? These are really powerful signs for you that your stuff is near. So keep going. Please take them as that, and they will be going crazy at the point when you're just about to manifest the stuff into your life. I have this at the moment in respect of abundance. So many white feathers, and one of my signs is, when you see a dog with its head out the window when it's driving along in a car, that's one of my signs. Loads of that, loads of triple numbers on number plates, another one of my things. Lots of different things. So I know I'm on this precipice. And when you've done this a few times, you get to know that, and it can really help to keep you going. Now, the other thing I noticed in like October, November, December, whatever it was, I could feel I was powerfully in alignment, is I had this, I still really wanted romantic love. It's like, I want that. You can't not want what you want ever, ever, ever. No point trying to even do that. I wanted it, but there was no sense of yearning. I was happy in the meantime. This is key. Okay, I've been talking about this recently, how you've got to understand that what you want is a sure thing. And so your job isn't to make it happen. Your job is to make the meantime as comfortable as you can and keep focusing on alignment and be consistent so that you can allow it in. I had this wonderful energy, this feel of, I really want it, but I've got no sense of yearning or no sense of lack in the absence of it, because I know it's coming. This is golden. This is golden. This is so, 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 so key. So ask yourself this question, say this to yourself: seeing as I know that what I want is a sure thing, what am I going to do in the meantime to just make this experience right now as pleasant, as comfortable as I can? And how am I going to make the best of this? Another thing I did last year was I spent some time doing some coaching, some self-love coaching, because it's like, I'm going to make the most of this time because I know it's coming. I know it's going to be here. Again, it's such a powerful thing to do. Okay. Now, the other thing I want to mention, I've written a book, my beloved book. I do adore this book called Love Notes. The words in this book were coming through on the back of me having spent the time making the best of it and having made the decision that I was going to show up for myself as the love that I desired in its absence. I'm going to say that again because this is massive. Okay. So I made the decision that in the absence of that love in the physical world, in the absence of the romantic partner, I was going to show up and give that love to myself. I can't espouse the wisdom and the power of this enough. Okay. So you're making the best of things. I know that's coming. It's absent at the moment and I want it, but how am I going to make the best of this? How am I going to embody this for myself? And so the words in Love Notes are going to help you tune in to that feeling of love. When you feel enrobed in the love of the divine, there is no sense of lack or less than or yearning. And this is incredibly powerful when you are hoping to manifest anything in your life. When you have a sense of lack or scarcity, you're just putting that out and you're attracting more to you. When you have a sense of, I want that, however, I desire that, but I already feel complete in the absence of it. This is when you are powerfully magnetic to the things that you desire. And so particularly if you want to manifest romantic love, the words in this book will help to soothe you out of that place of feeling less than or a sense of lack and into the place of feeling the love already. And this is wonderful because then when it comes in physical form, you won't have any sense of fear about it going, because you know that ultimately it comes from within you. And that's just like an addition to it. You don't need that. So the other thing I want to say, actually, my friend left me I'm going to say her name because I think she's happy with it. Siobhan, my lovely friend Siobhan, left me a voice note asking me a question on the back of last week's episode where I talked about butter chicken. And she said, but what I don't get is your friend, like whether you were in that butter chicken experience or not, your friend already knew this guy. Wasn't it just going to happen anyway? And this is a perfect example of being caught up in the mind. The mind mistrusts the magic. And when you believe in it, you will miss the magic. The mind mistrusts the magic. And when you go along with it, you will miss the magic. It will take the magic out of the most miraculous situations. I've seen this happen many, many times. And this came about on the back of alignment. We can explain anything away with the mind and say, well, this might happen, that. No, it's about alignment. When you understand that Everything is made up of atoms, and atoms are made up of more than 99% empty space. This is energy. So when we shift energetically, this is incredibly powerful in a way that the mind can't begin to comprehend. And it tries to filter it into its very narrow perspective of logic. And it misses the magic and the miracles that we start to perceive when we go beyond the mind. I was inspired to ask my friend Mel to introduce me to somebody, because my soul was guiding me, because I was in alignment. She was inspired to message me about Daniel because I was calling that in, and she was a cooperative component of the universe. This is the magic of how life works. It's energy. And like I say, if you're caught up in the mind, the most amazing things will happen. And the mind will say, yeah, but, and it will try and explain it away through logic. This is not how manifestation works. This is not how the miracles in our lives come about. It's based on energy. Like I said earlier, law of correspondence, as within, so without. Embodying this energy is key. Showing up and being that love for yourself is key. Making the most of the meantime is key. Figuring out the essence of what it is you desire and then feeling the feels of that. And the other thing is, I haven't written this down, but I feel like I want to share it, is be really mindful of the doubts that come up, because physical reality, there's a lag time between non-physical and physical, between you dreaming it and you living it. And this can really, and does really trip us up. So when doubts come up, you want to be really hot on quashing those fast, because they will screw with your manifestations. Okay. So catch negativity fast. I've talked about this heaps because it is so important. It will slow things way down, and it can keep you ad infinitum caught in this just cycle of yearning. And I've been there again, and I know it sucks, and you needn't be caught up in that. So we want to go beyond the mind. If we want to live in this way, I say to my Manifesting Miracles students that with goals and with the mind, you can climb mountains. With alignment, you move mountains. And this is what I'm about, is helping you live this more miraculous, magical experience of life, not just set goals and hit them and be really physical about things. Physical is just the tip of the iceberg. Energy, this is why we say energy is everything. Energy is where it's at. And like I said earlier, once you've done this a bunch of times, you can feel, oh, okay, I'm in the energy of it now. I'm consistent. I know it won't be long. A bit like, I don't know, you see that you order an Uber and you could see on the app, or something to eat, or your Domino's pizza, and you can see it's on its way. There's no tension there, because you know it's on its way. It gets easier to tap into this when you are tapped into your energy and the signs, the things that come through from non-physical that let you know. I just want to end by saying what you want is a sure thing. Please, please know this. The universe is always like, yes, this or something better. This or something better. And please, particularly if you're looking to manifest love, make the decision that in the interim period, if you don't have it in your physical world in many forms or in any forms, decide that you are going to show up and be that love. Like Gandhi said, be the change, be the love, and then it must follow. Stay consistent in terms of your practices. Okay, I really hope that this has helped. I am doing a free workshop, by the way, on Tuesday, the 21st of July, I think at 7. Or I did a podcast way back when on my musings on menopause and basing it on that. It's going to be on Zoom, totally free, no strings attached. We will end with a lovely meditation. If you're finding this time of life challenging, please join me. I'm going to share, like I say, the stuff that I shared in that podcast episode that you might have listened to. Manifesting Miracles catch up is on July. I think it's the first Friday in July. Also 7 o'clock. It's only £10. Please join if you've done Manifesting Miracles and you want to get back into the energy. I'm really excited about it. And then I've got the next round of Manifesting Miracles virtual coming up. Can't remember the date. No idea. It's sometime in July, I think. Maybe that's the 5th. Maybe that's the Tuesday. Would that work out? Monday, Friday, 1st, 2nd, 3rd. Oh yeah, that could be it. It could be that the Manifesting Miracles catch up is on the 1st and Manifesting Miracles virtual round 6.0 is on the 5th. Maybe I've got it correct. Who knows? Like that saying says, even a stop clock tells the right time twice a day. So Could be that. Thank you so much for listening or watching. If you've braved watching me, trying to look at my notes, think about audio and visual and the cat and the microphone in a funny position all at the same time. It's way too much for my pea brain. I will be back next week. Totally felt like Arnie then. I'll be back. That's really, really terrible. Should I edit that bit out? I can't. Well, I can actually, because I can just about edit the end off on quick time or quick play, whatever it's called. I'm not pro at editing. Editing video yet. Anyway, I'm going to zip it now. That's enough from me. Any questions on this? Be in touch with me. I am here to help. I am here as your cheerleader. I'm here for your success. Mean that from the bottom of my heart. I won't take compliments generally, but what I do know is there is kindness and there is love in my heart, and that is genuine as, and it is here for you. I'm here for you if you want that, if you need that. Thanks for listening. I will see you, or you will hear from me next week. Lots of love, guys.